Good morning, everybody. How are you? What a week. What a weekend. What a weekend. Is it Friday yet? Thank you for joining us on Hot Topics 10 a.m. here in the East. Again, I'm so glad you're here. So I just want to say something. Let me just tell you, this is not sweat. What it is the the wrinkle spray that you get and you spray it from the drugstore. And so maybe you noticed it, maybe you didn't. I don't know. But good morning. How was your weekend? I hope you had a good one. I had a very good weekend. It was long. Some of you probably heard about it. I wrote about it on my new Substack, which debuted this weekend, or really, I think officially the official thing was today, but I've been writing on it and doing lots of writing. So thank you so much for being so supportive. And thank you for joining us this morning. I don't really know what's going on in the world that much, except for a little bit, because I've been so entrenched in what I was doing over the weekend in New Orleans. I was at the New Orleans Book Festival. It was a beautiful, beautiful weekend. And then I went home to Baton Rouge to see my family, which I wrote about, which I would suggest. Can you put the Substack up there, guys? Which I would suggest that you read about. It's called I'm Dancing as Fast as I Can, where I kind of talk about trying to like do everything, hold everything together, like my life here in New York, my family in Louisiana. And I didn't talk to you guys about the second time. You know, you guys remember I went down to Louisiana hi Boomer, my doggy's in here. I went down to Louisiana. You can leave the door open, they can come in there. I went down to Louisiana in January because my sister was sick. And she had like this episode. We weren't sure. She went to the hospital and then she started recovering. She got better fast. And then she had a blood clot on her brain, which led to her having a mini stroke. And I didn't really want to talk about it because I didn't know she wanted me to talk about it publicly. And then also it was just very emotional and a tough time for me. So I had to go down to New Orleans for the book festival. And then I took a car to Baton Rouge to visit them, and I wrote about it on my Substack. So I would suggest that you read it. And if you want to go to the Substack, it's really easy. You know how hard it is? You just go to donlemon.com and it takes you right to my Substack. Okay, so support me there. I'll be doing more writing there. I'll be also on more often during the day because it's easy for me to just click on. And so you're going to get some stuff there that you don't get here, a little more intimate things about in my writing, about me, about the world. And then you're going to get some breaking news that, so I don't have to like go to YouTube and set it up and get on. And it's easy to go live on YouTube, but then it's hard because if you get knocked off of because of something, whether it is, because you have a connectivity issue, whatever, and then you're just frozen and whatever. So when we go through this platform that we use called StreamYard, it keeps us on the air. So if my signal goes down, you don't lose it. You just have to wait till I come back up. But if we don't go through that, if I go down, it's over and I'm frozen forever. So I also wrote about, I don't know if you guys know what's going on in Wisconsin. If you scroll up on that, Wisconsin, Elon Musk has poured like $20 million into this campaign for a justice there on the Wisconsin Supreme Court. And so it's called The Price of the Bench. What happens when a Supreme Court seat collides with Elon Musk's money and Donald Trump's agenda? And then there's some video of me live from New Orleans there. And then I have another one called Return to Reason. If you can click on that one. Well, actually you don't have to, but Return to Reason is about my experience of being there interviewing Dr. Francis Collins, who was very instrumental in COVID and developing the vaccine and other things also for sickle cell anemia and whatever. And then Dr. Fauci I was interviewing him on the stage and Dr. Fauci was sitting right in front of me. And it was sort of I tried not to make it distracting. And so anyway, it was just an amazing weekend that made me realize that there is hope. There is hope out there. And I think it's going to happen through really, honestly, if you want to know, through people who are just fearless. And as we say in the vernacular, people who just don't give a fuck. Meaning, they're not worried about the administration. They're not worried about being targeted. They're not worried about losing their jobs. They're not worried about what someone's saying about them. They're not worried about being beholden to an administration, to any of that. So, I think that's going to make the difference. So it did give me some hope as I was speaking to those very, very courageous people who are down there. That I believe it's going to be the authors, the writers, the philanthropists, the artists who are going to make a difference. Maybe there's some politicians. We shall see. They're trying, but I don't believe that they are in a position right now to be able to do it properly and correctly. Just because it's not the time that we're in. Okay, so listen, I just want to tell you, thank you for joining us. I'm going to be catching up on the news with you. Make sure you hit the like, make sure you hit the thumbs up, because it does affect the algorithm and more people get to become aware of where we are, who we are, what we're doing, what we're trying to be here, which is transparent. There's no agenda except for transparency and except for giving you the truth, being fearless, and just sort of living our lives together in an authentic manner and not pretending, that we are somewhere that we're not. No false equivalency, none of that crap. So speaking of hope, there have been some protests happening around the country that I think will give you hope. And there's also something that's probably going to be a little bit concerning, because the former, current, and president wants to be the future president as well. He wants to be the future president again. He said he wants to possibly run in 2028. So many people, and we said that. I don't know if you guys remember. For those of you who have been around for a long time, who have been lemon heads for a long time, can I just say I told you so? And you guys know I told you so, okay? So again, I'm hitting a thumbs up on my own thing. Hit the thumbs up, hit the like. Thank you. People are gifting memberships already. Welcome to all of our new members. Welcome, Culture. Welcome, Maurice Sandifer. And welcome to Jackie Jensen, all of our new members. And we appreciate your support. That's how we stay streaming in these here streaming streets, through your support, your generosity, and you just looking out for us and being a part of the Lemon Nation and becoming a lemon head. Okay, so the subscribe button is at the bottom of your screen, just next to the Don Lemon Show logo. Make sure you subscribe as well. And again, thank you so much, everyone, for your support. And thank you. Wow, great engagement this morning. So keep clicking that thumbs up button. Make sure you click it once. Don't click on it and then click off of it. And so what I've realized too, guys, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going to get to the news, but I just want to talk to you because I haven't talked to you this weekend. What I've realized is that the YouTube platform is really difficult to navigate. Like, I thought it was difficult, but I didn't realize how difficult it was, because I went home and my sister said, hey, look, I'm not getting some of these things and I want to upgrade. And how do I do it? And I tried to do it on her phone. And it's like, I had the darndest time trying to do it. I actually said, okay, I'm going to cancel your membership and then I'm going to resubscribe you to a higher tier, and then wouldn't allow me to do it. So now I canceled her membership and she's got to wait till it expires in a month to read. It's crazy. It's really tough. And I'm going to talk to them about it, because I just think it's too difficult and it should be a lot simpler. The Substack platform is way easier than the YouTube platform. You just click, you go on the Substack and you just click. So if you are not subscribed to my Substack, I would suggest to you right now, please go to donlemon.com, and then you'll just have to put your email in there and then become a subscriber, free or paid, however you want to do it. Okay. So I do appreciate your support. And again, it'll be different. It's going to be more writing, a little bit more intimate. You'll never know where I'll pop up and do some breaking news or be interviewing someone. Okay. All right. So let's get to the news, right? Let me know where you're from, where you're watching us from, where you're streaming from. Thank you for shouting me out in the airport. I got mobbed in the New Orleans airport. I was going through security. And then when one person says, oh my God, Don Lemon, I said, yes. And they go, can I get a picture? And then the whole thing, and they moved me out of security. Like, you got to move away from it. People were taking pictures. And I was like, oh my God, it's crazy. And all because of YouTube and social media. Nuts. So thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. It means the world to me. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Hot Topics, the Don Lemon Show. I hate to say I told you so, but I really did. I do hate to say that, but I've told you, my friend. I told you so. I told you that Trump won't leave the White House again, and I told you that we are already in the midst of an autocracy. We're in the midst of a dictatorship. And, I hate to say it, but I'm usually right. Why am I saying this? Because this weekend, if you have not seen it, President Trump did not rule out violating the U.S. law to seek a third term in office, telling NBC News that he was, quote, not joking about the possibility and suggesting there were methods to circumvent the two-term limit laid out in the Constitution. I'm going to quote from a wide-ranging interview from Meet the Press. Actually, I think he called Christian Welker over the weekend. No audio of it, but there's a transcript, and he said, quote, a lot of people wanted him to serve a third term, according to a transcript of the interview provided by the network. Obviously, any attempt to seek a third term would run afoul of the 22nd Amendment, right? Which begins like this: no person shall be elected to the office of the president more than twice. That is Christian Welker's reporting. Let's read through it. It was just up. Let's put it back up. Okay. So it says, he said, I'm not joking, Trump said when asked to clarify, but I'm not. It is far too early to think about it. When asked whether he has been presented with plans to allow him to seek a third term, Trump said, there are methods which I could do it. NBC News asked a possible scenario if Vice President J.D. Vance would run for office and then pass the role to Trump. Trump responded that's one method, but there are others too, Trump added. Now, let me tell you what I think the other, let me see if you take the banners down. Is there anything else that asked to share the method? Trump simply responded, I guess, no. Okay. Yes. Responded no. Okay. You can put it back up. So here's the thing. I told you what I think. I think he's going to say that he didn't run. It wasn't consecutive terms. So he's going to try to do that. And then he's going to use Mayor Bloomberg in New York as a precedent for someone who did it. My hair is so long. He's going to use Mayor Bloomberg in New York as someone who did it. And if he can do it, I can do it. And that's what he's going to try to do. Okay. So Bannon said he would try, says Sawanya Parks. You're right on the mark. Every day brings new horror, said Margaret Kellner. You're damn right about that. Can you imagine a third Donald Trump term? We're not even through the second Donald Trump term. Shit, I'm tired. And it has it even been 2 months yet? They thought Joe Biden was too old, says Denise Russell. I mean, imagine Trump would be, 195 by the time he left office? I have been thinking about something too that is that's been quite amazing to me, how people can really, it's just sort of delude themselves into certain things, and I call it cognitive dissonance or whatever you want to call it. But how people can really just, I don't know, gas themselves up. You know what I mean? Gas themselves up to believe things that are just not true. Like everything is going great, the economy's great and all that bullshit. And it's so weird because everything is so awful right now. But people believe that it's great, meaning the MAGA folks. They think it's great when they have less money, they have less access, they have fewer services, they have fewer rights. The economy is going in the tank. All of the metrics are showing that. The metrics that it will show you that what Joe Biden was doing was working. And so they will believe anything that Donald Trump tells them. So Donald Trump told them that they weren't doing great under Joe Biden, and they believed it, even though they were. The economy was getting better, even though they were. Like, the numbers don't lie. Your feelings will lie to you. Facts don't care about your feelings, but numbers are facts, right? Numbers are more fact-driven than your feelings, obviously. So all of these people, they heard Donald Trump so much, and they hated Joe Biden or any Democrat so much that they wanted to believe that things were worse than they were. I know that things were better under Trump. Well, how? How was it better? I had more money in my pocket. Well, how did you have more money in your pocket? Well, I can't really explain. I just feel they don't know, right? And so then now that the numbers show they actually don't, that their retirement's going away, they're going to have to start paying more for cars. The price of goods are up. Eggs are still high, coming down, but they went up under Trump, higher than they were with Joe Biden. And now maybe they're leveling out a little bit, but they're still at historic highs. and not because of Joe Biden, but under Trump, higher than when Joe Biden was in office. And they still I don't understand it. It is delusional. And so now I'm sure folks will be like, yeah, let's do a third Trump term. Are you fucking crazy? The man does not know what he is doing. This weekend, speaking to economists at the New Orleans Book Fair, conservatives who are not necessarily MAGA, who may have even voted for him the first time, they are saying Donald Trump is a disaster economically. They don't understand his strategy. They don't know who is advising him. Tariffs are attacks on the consumer, and all of these things that he's doing with the tariffs and the stock market, they think it's nuts. And if there is a recovery, it's not going to be in 2 weeks or 2 months or even 2 years. It's going to take longer. And you know what he's going to say? Didn't have time for it to work because things were so bad under Joe Biden, so you got to give me a little bit more time. When it is bullshit. It was better under Biden. That should have been their thing. Better with Biden. I hate to break it to these folks, and I'm telling you the truth. This is the absolute 100% truth. As people say, do the math. Or as Bill Clinton would say, it's arithmetic. The numbers don't lie. Do the math. Just go look. Not your feelings. Don't rely on your feelings, because your feelings are going to trick you because you have an ideological bend. You're biased because of your feelings, and you believe what Donald Trump tells you because you got the MAGA brain. But you just wait till it starts hitting home. Wait till the roosters start coming home. The chickens start coming home to roost. Wait. I don't want it to happen, but that's the truth. That's what it's happening. Now you're talking about a third term. Here's Donald Trump talking about a third term. I believe he's on Air Force One.
You were not joking about a third term, about possibly wanting a third term. Does that mean you're not planning to leave office on January 20th?
I'm not looking at that, but I'll tell you, I have had more people ask me to have a third term, which is in a way a fourth term, because the other election, the 2020 election, was totally rigged. So it's actually sort of a fourth term in a certain way. I just don't want the credit for the second, because Biden was so bad. He did such a bad job. I'm just telling you, I have had more people say, please run again. They said, we have a long way to go before we even think about that. But I've had a lot of people. Yeah, go ahead. Did you have something?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, do you think that's an appropriate precedent to set, even if it wasn't you in this position, to see a president serve a third term?
I don't want to talk about a third term now, because
He's just pause it,
no
please.
matter
Stop. Okay, so I don't want to talk about a third term. He's just talking about it. Is that? Am I right? Can you guys? Anybody can see that? Is that Howard Lutnick behind him? Because Howard Lutnick is no. Just pause it. No, don't stop it. Is that Howard Lutnick behind him? I think it is. He's such a pick-me. But I want you to back it up to the beginning, because when he says that, like, I think Lutnick is like, because he thinks, like, obviously Trump is like goosing them, because he thinks like he's owning the libs and owning the reporters, and people are like, okay, well, whatever. But back it up to the beginning and look at the guy behind him. I think it's Lutnick, and he's smiling, like grinning like a Cheshire cat. He's such a pick-me, and he's such a glazer. His face is so up Donald Trump's you-know-what. It's ridiculous. So let's start it over, and then we'll listen to Donald Trump, watch the reaction to the guy behind him, and then just listen. Here it is.
You said you were not joking about a third term, about possibly wanting a third term. Does that mean you're not planning to leave office on January 20th?
I'm not looking at that, but I'll tell you, I have had more people ask me to have a third term, which is in a way a fourth term, because the other election, the 2020 election, was totally rigged. So it's actually sort of a fourth term in a certain way.
Okay, so they know it's bullshit, because look, when he says that, they have to laugh because they know it's not real. They know the 2020 election was not a fourth term. And if he wants to claim that fourth term, then I would say go ahead. But then he would have to, everything that he has said about Joe Biden, then it would be him. It would be him then in charge of the economy and all those things that he said was so bad, if it would be a fourth term. Because he said 2020, it doesn't make sense. I mean, that's how dumb he is, because nothing he's doing right now is making sense as well. But people will believe it. Now, I'm just telling you, people will believe it. You're going to be arguing with people up and down, as we say. I mean, they argued me up and down. You're going to be arguing with people up and down when they're not going to have any money. The cost of goods are going to be so high, and the prices for cars are going to be ridiculous and other goods. And they're going to be like, Trump 2028, it's so good. And you're going to be like, wait, what the fuck are you talking about? Do you see how much this Happy Meal costs? Why is a Happy Meal, why is it $10, $15? Probably $10 now. Why is it $15? Why is it $20? Why is my Happy Meal that expensive? Trump. Why is my Honda Accord or whatever it is costing me $50,000, $80,000 for that? Why? Trump. Why are the interest rates so high? Why can't I afford a house? Why can't I afford rent? Trump. America is great. Fucking idiots, man. Ridiculous. Okay. So continue. This is him talking about a possible third term. Way too soon. That would mean 8 more years. You ready for that? Keep going. Watch the guy behind.
I don't want the credit for the second, because Biden was so bad. He did such a bad job. And I'm just telling you, I have had more people say, please run again. I said, we have a long way to go before we even think about that. But I've had a lot of people. Yeah, go ahead. Did you have something?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, do you think that's an appropriate precedent to set, even if it wasn't you in this position, to see a president serve a third term?
I don't want to talk about a third term now, because no matter how you look at it, we got a long time to go. We have a long time. You know, we have almost 4 years to go. And that's a long time. But despite that, so many people are saying, you've got to run again. They love the job we're doing. Most importantly, they love the job we're doing.
So you said you were on 7.
They love the job. Do you guys love the job that he's doing? C. Gunter MLS says he will run again and will win. People will forget. Do you guys agree with C. Gunter MLS? That Donald Trump will run again and will win because people will forget? Maybe. Maybe you're right. I don't know. But I know when reality starts to set in with all of this crap, when people start realizing, look, not only will unemployment, or is it going up, right? There are a lot more people who are going to be the competition in line. Your applications are going to be going up against, because they have laid off so many people. And the concern is that there's so much brain drain going on from the folks that I've been speaking to, many of them conservatives, that it's going to be tough to reestablish these organizations when the idiots leave the White House in Washington. Like, how do you reestablish a viable Department of Education? How do you reestablish a better FAA? How do you reestablish USAID? How do you reestablish all of these programs that we need after you've dismantled them and you fired people and they have gone on to find jobs in the private sector where they would have made more money anyways? How do you convince them to come back to work for less money because they believe in American democracy and the mission of America to better the world? How do you get them to come back when they're like, look, I'm making more money now. It took me a while to get this job, but finally I got one, if they do get one. If they do get one. Here's Steve Bannon. This was a month ago, I believe, or earlier this month, talking about the possibility of a third term. I'm telling you, they ain't lying. They are serious.
I'm a firm believer that President Trump will run and win again in 2028. So I've already endorsed President Trump. A man like this comes along once every century. If we're lucky, we've got him now. He's on fire.
Back that up. I think he says percent Trump.
And President Trump, I'm a firm believer that President Trump will run and win again in 2028. So I've already endorsed President Trump. A man like this comes along once every century if we're lucky. We've got him now. He's on fire, and I'm a huge supporter. Want to see him again in 2028.
And obviously, anybody who doesn't like what you say but judges it as a function of a lack of intelligence doesn't know anything about you. I don't make that mistake. You're a smart guy. Oh, you know he's term limited. How do you think he gets another term?
We're working on it. I think we'll have a couple of alternatives. Let's say that. We'll see. We'll see what the definition. We'll see what the definition of term. We'll see what the definition of term limit is.
All right. Well, so you're talking about litigating this issue.
Oh my God. Okay, there was a lot of words there. How about you know that there are term limits. You're a smart guy. Blah blah blah. Okay, that was a lot of words. Anyways, yeah, they're serious, folks. They are serious. Time Magazine, Trump Forever yard signs. This is what was put out. This was what? How long ago was this? Was this like 2019 when he was running?
2019, yeah.
Yeah. This is what. Check it out. Now, I can assure you that that won't happen. And even MAGAism won't last for that long because nothing does. But look, you don't even have to go that far because look, I'm just being honest. I'm not wishing this on anyone, but it just happens. You will be one day as well. Nobody lives forever. And chances are most of the people who are here are a lot younger, are younger than him. So there will come a day. There will come a day. Soon and very soon, we are going to see the King. Like this, here it is. Speaking of kings, this is from Time Magazine. Remember, long live the king. So that's his Time Magazine cover. So there you go. You guys make up your mind. You guys make up your mind on that. The Cult of Insanity says, you guys know I'm crazy. There are a lot of people who are, if you're in the chat and you're picking up what I'm putting down, I mean, you know, tell me. All right, take that down. That's really, really scary. Thank you very much for that. But you know, soon. Yes, Lord. One day, one of these good old mornings, change is gonna come. Oh, one of these good old mornings, change is gonna come. Yeah. Okay. All right. So listen, let me tell you what's happening in Wisconsin, because I wrote about that. If you can put up the Substack, I wrote about that on my Substack, and it is called The Price of the Bench, that I write about and what Elon Musk is doing in Wisconsin. Okay. And so this is what's happening in Wisconsin. If you put it wide, I'm going to read The Price of the Bench. What happens when the Supreme Court collides with Elon Musk's money and Donald Trump's agenda? There are moments in the life of a nation, quiet, almost decorous, when it's forced to ask itself a question, and it has been avoiding. What are we willing to sell? What are we willing to sell? What are we willing to sell? And Wisconsin is asking that question right now. And I think the answer, as I wrote here, we're going to get the answer coming on Tuesday which is tomorrow, when voters cast their ballots for the state Supreme Court justice. Justice Susan Crawford is running for that seat. She is now promising a revolution. She is not promising a revolution. She is not running on outrage. She's not calling for war. She is, rather inconveniently for some, calling for the law to remain what it was intended to be, and that is a safeguard, not a weapon. And because of her steadiness, she has attracted the attention of the richest man on the planet and arguably one of its most powerful. If you want to read about it, you can read about it on my Substack. And by the way, he's donated either through the Wisconsin GOP or through a PAC some, $20 million, $20.5 million to that campaign. Should a rich person be allowed to write you a check for voting the way you vote, the way they want you to vote? From a legal perspective, the answer is complicated, as it depends on how the offer is structured and how prosecutors and courts interpret various state statutes. Now, it went to court and it was appealed, and the court allowed it. So far it stands. Now, Donald Trump said he was going to give I think it was $2 million or $1 million to two people who participated in the election. It was like, it's the election there has become a sweepstakes. And so I guess the idea is they are hoping that people will say, maybe I will be one of those people who gets the $1 million. I will be lucky enough if I go to the polls and vote, and that will incentivize people to do it, to go to the polls. Should that be legal? As I wrote in on the Substack article, I believe I said that is not political participation. I forget what I said, but I said that is a declaration. What did I say about that? If you put it, I think I wrote that it was a declaration. Right? This is not about generosity. It's about precedent. It's about precedent. And remember, why does Elon Musk, why does he care so much about it? Well, he is suing the state of Wisconsin because there's a Tesla lawsuit that is involved, and this may go up in the same court that he is seeking right now that I write about to try to change. What happens when civic participation becomes a lottery? And behind it all, I said, stands one man, and that is Donald Trump. His support for his opponent, which is Brad Schimmel. When I worked in Philadelphia, a person spelled his name the same name. His name was Schimmel. It was Doug Schimmel. I think it was the same spelling. So that is what's happening in Wisconsin. And people there go to the polls tomorrow, and there is a huge effort by the Democrats or the Musk and Trump forces to try to make this not about who can buy an election, but to make it about the people. If she wins, I said, if she wins, then we'll have to admit what we've spent so long denying. Scroll up, please. So long denying that justice, real justice, does not live in money or machines. It lives in the quiet refusal, in the woman who says no, meaning Judge Crawford, and in the people who say not this time, if she wins. But this one is for all the money, folks. This one election in Wisconsin could change the trajectory of elections in this country forever and change the trajectory of the country forever. It is a very important battleground or swing state, Wisconsin. The two political action committees linked to Musk, America's PAC, and Building America Future have disclosed spending about $17 million on the Wisconsin race, while Musk donated $3 million to the state Republican Party, according to ProPublica. They and other big spenders have helped push overall spending on the race to more than $80 million, making it the most expensive judicial race in American history. But Musk didn't stop there. In true entrepreneurial fashion, he looked for other ways to influence a race. First, America PAC put together a 2-sentence petition in opposition to activist judges, offering $100 to any registered voter in Wisconsin who signed it, and $100 for any voter who referred another person to sign it. In exchange, voters just have to submit their full name, email, mailing address, and cell phone numbers. All valuable information for anyone running to get out the vote effort, especially for a low turnout judicial election. Finger on the scale. And behind it all, really, is who? Donald Trump is behind it all. Elon Musk's money. And I said in the thing, I said, this is not about, let me open it up. I'll open it up myself. I said, this is not about Donald Trump's about Elon Musk's character. This is nothing about, this is not like an assassination or a character assassination for him. But I said, if you back up, I say, let me see, this is where I want to go. And this is where I want to go with it. There we go. I say, why don't I just read the whole thing for you real quick? I'm just going to read the whole thing because I think it's a really good thing. Wisconsin is asking that question. We're going to get the, excuse me. There are moments in the life of a nation, quiet, almost decorous, when it is forced to ask itself a question it's been avoiding. What are we willing to sell? Wisconsin is asking that question now. We'll get the answer this coming Tuesday, April 1st, when voters there cast their ballots for state Supreme Court justice. Judge Susan Crawford is running for that seat. She is not promising a revolution. She's not running on outrage. She is not calling for war. She is, rather inconveniently for some, calling for the law to remain what it was intended to be, a safeguard and not a weapon. And for that, for her steadiness, for her refusal to play the game, she has attracted the attention of the richest man on the planet and arguably one of the most influential. Elon Musk is not running in Wisconsin. He is not voting in Wisconsin. But he is spending in Wisconsin freely, strategically, and at a scale that would make even seasoned political donors blink. We are told this is democracy in action. We are told that everyone has a right to participate, but participation backed by billions is not quite the same thing as civic engagement. It is something else entirely, something quieter, something sharper, more difficult to name. This is not about Musk's character. It is about his reach, about what it means when a person who shapes technology, speech, and markets begins to invest, quite literally, in the composition of a court. And then I talk about interviewing Elon Musk a year ago, and that he said he probably wouldn't donate to political campaigns because he did not want to put his thumb on the scale. And I said, at the moment, I believed him. But ambition has a way of evolving. In the last cycle, I said, as I had been mentioning here, part of it, he became the largest political donor in the country, contributing over $291 million, the vast majority backing Donald Trump and Republicans. He also funneled $20.5 million into efforts supporting Judge Brad Schimel in Wisconsin. $3 million rooted through the state GOP, and another $17.5 million spent by super PACs aligned with him. These are not whispers of influence. These are declarations. It's what it is. Tesla is suing the state of Wisconsin. The case involves a direct challenge to state law, and it may in time land before the very court Musk is helping to reshape. That fact is not scandalous. It is, in fact, perfectly legal, and that is precisely the problem. That is what's going on here. All of the money, and look, this is not new with Musk. He just has more money. He has unlimited resources to be able to put into these races. But the money that's been going into political races now, it's something that we need to really get a handle on. Here is Robert Wright breaking down what's happening for us in Wisconsin. Here it is.
Elon Musk bought the presidency. Now he wants to buy Wisconsin. On April 1st, Wisconsin will vote to fill an open seat on the state Supreme Court, with the court's majority up for grabs. Former Wisconsin Attorney General Brad Schimel is facing current Circuit Court Judge Susan Crawford. Schimel is an anti-choice, right-wing extremist who sued to overturn the Affordable Care Act, and as Wisconsin Attorney General delayed testing thousands of rape kits. So far, Elon Musk's America PAC has spent $7.3 million supporting Schimmel, while another group funded by Musk and other GOP donors has spent $5.8 million attacking Crawford. Musk and his fellow oligarchs know Wisconsin is a key swing state, and its court is the key to gerrymandering the state, suppressing votes, bashing unions, and banning abortions. Musk's Tesla also recently sued Wisconsin over a state law that hurts its bottom line. Judge Susan Crawford, by contrast, is an experienced litigator who has personally defended reproductive freedom and workers' rights, which Musk despises. If you live in Wisconsin, you can cast your ballot by Election Day, April 1st.
So it is important if you're in Wisconsin to get out and vote. Look, I will say vote your choice, but I don't like someone who is appearing to try to buy someone's vote. That should not be legal in the United States. That is undue over-influence in the process. Here's a TikToker breaking down his version of what he believes is happening with Elon Musk in the Wisconsin court in the election.
May Musk didn't give us her best.
Like any federal judge can stop any action by the president, of the United States. This is insane.
I mean, your only saving grace is the fact that you're not a natural born citizen. So maybe you don't have the historical context of what the Constitution
pause.
actually
Let me
says.
just say,
but then I remembered.
Hold on. I'm going to back it up. It's not insane because the president is not a monarch. He's actually not a king. And those powers belong to the judiciary, not the executive branch. So this person is correct in a sense that Elon Musk does not have an understanding of American democracy and the Constitution as it is written and as it has traditionally been run. So, yeah, a federal judge can tell a president and is supposed to be able to tell a president, no, you cannot do that. That is unlawful and it's unconstitutional. Do I have something wrong here? That's what I was taught in my civics classes. And God, I want to remember my civics teacher from high school, and I cannot remember him. If anybody's out there went to Baker High School, what was his name? He's also a coach, dark hair, really gregarious guy. But anyways, let's start over from the beginning so we can understand what this gentleman is saying from the beginning. Here it is.
Clearly, May Musk didn't give us her best.
Like any federal judge can stop any action by the president, of the United States. This is insane.
I mean, your only saving grace is the fact that you're not a natural born citizen. So maybe you don't have the historical context of what the Constitution actually says. But then I remembered you became a naturalized citizen. No, you were born outside the United States, but became a U.S. citizen after meeting specific requirements, including an English and a civics test. You know, the same civics test that's supposed to make sure that you know how this government works. Maybe he didn't study hard enough and didn't actually read the Constitution. Because if his ass did read the Constitution, he would have read Article 3. It talks about the judicial power of the United States. You know, the fucking courts. More explicitly, he would have read Section 2. It specifically says the judicial power shall extend to all cases in law and equity arising under this motherfucking Constitution. The laws in the United States and treaties made or which shall be made under the authority to all cases. So you either didn't study and got lucky on the test, paid somebody to take the test for you, or you know the information and you're fucking lying. Either way, I got a quick phone call I got to make because motherfuckers need to investigate this real quick.
All right, the people are speaking it in America, right? For us free speech absolutists, this person has a right to speak and he has a right to give his opinion on Elon Musk. Here is the Democratic Party Chair Ben Wikler on Elon Musk and what's happening with the courts.
Absolutely. I mean, the idea of saying if you vote, you can come to my town hall and you could get $1 million. That is so far beyond the criminal threshold for vote buying. The threshold is if you offer someone something that's worth at least $1, then that itself is a violation of the vote bribery, the election bribery statute in Wisconsin. So you have to ask whether Brad Schimmel will immediately denounce this and call for an investigation, whether he knew about this in advance, whether he's planning to appear with Elon Musk when Elon Musk comes to Wisconsin this Sunday. What was it? Brad Schimmel calling Elon Musk and telling him to delete the tweet because they could get in trouble? What happened?
Let me answer that question for you. No, he's not going to denounce it. And I saw an interview and he said he has no control over what Elon Musk wants to do or anybody else, and that he was just running. So no, he did not denounce and will not denounce it. And he is actually accusing his opponent of doing something that's similar with no evidence. He's actually accusing Judge Crawford of doing something similar, again, with no evidence, as they often do, reportedly with no evidence, as they often do in this case. That is, so you get the point from Ben Wikler. There are these protests that are going on in Wisconsin. I want to show you, and they have been really rowdy protests. Here it is, outside of the town hall where Elon Musk was. Go ahead. All right, so you get the point. So that's happening there. And then there are protests outside of Tesla's, a dealership. I'm not sure if it's a headquarters in Seattle, Washington. All right. I just got it. It's electric. And the electric cars. Okay, and they're doing the electric slide. All right, so again, people, under the First Amendment of the Constitution, if you're a free speech absolutist, then you have the right to be able to do all of those things, protest in Wisconsin and also in Washington, Seattle, Washington. There are also anti-Elon and anti-Hegseth protests at Victoria Spartz, a congresswoman's town hall. Now watch this, guys. This is American democracy in action, the First Amendment. And just so you know, when people say protest, what is it going to do? I don't know. Yeah, protests do matter. Watch this. This was a town hall. Watch this.
Quiet, please. Quiet, please.
We demand the immediate resignation of Pete Hegseth, Michael Waltz, and the rest of the group chat.
No, I will not demand their resignation.
All of the immigrants that are being rounded up and deported. Are they entitled to due process? Or are we? We're just supposed to take the word of the administration that these people need to be shipped out of the country without any opportunity to defend themselves.
But President Trump did it last time when he tried. If you seek asylum, wait in the other country, not get it here in the country. So there is no due process if you don't take a legal evidence, you violated the law. Period. How do things? And the government really is so behind the law.
When are you going to live up to your oath, defend the Constitution, and reclaim the powers that the voters of this district have reserved for you? In other words, when are you going to start doing your job?
Walk out! We have
Walk out! Walk out! Walk!
People with visas are being deported!
Wow, people are mad. And so that's what's happening around the country. And you too have a voice. Don't feel like you don't. All is not lost. House Republicans had been telling people, their party leadership, avoid these town halls. After, it's not just Democrats, it's Republicans as well. After they began to seize on the events to vent frustration with the Trump administration, that was Representative Victoria Spartz, a third-term Republican from suburban Illinois, decided not to heed the warning this weekend and was met with fury over cuts to the federal government services and workforce and the deportation of people without due process and on and on and on. Spartz was born in Soviet Ukraine, also faced questions about her position on U.S. aid for Ukraine. She said that she did not support the United States sending a blank check to anyone, but that Russia has been allowed to get away with too much. And she's Ukrainian. So there you go. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So there are protests that are happening around the country. And YouTube, look, people are fed up, but I think one of the most important things that's going to happen is tomorrow. There's so much to talk about that I didn't get a chance to get to. And because it was so much this weekend. But I would urge you again, everyone, make sure you like, make sure you hit the thumbs up, make sure you support us here on the YouTube, which is our main show, as we say, full frontal on YouTube. If you're watching us live on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, we appreciate it. And we hope you continue to watch us there. But we also have a new platform that we want you to join. It's easy. Go to donlemon.com. Just go to donlemon.com. I'll put it in the chat. It's easy. Don, if I can type, donlemon.com. And if you, my thing won't even work. I can't even get a comment on my own thing because I logged myself out the other day. And you will go right to, it'll take you right to the Substack. Okay. It'll take you right to my Substack and you can read, put it up, Nikki, the Substack. And then this wonderful story that I wrote about my visit with my family, the illness my sister is dealing with. My mom is taking care of her, has become the caretaker. And yeah. And you can write what I wrote about Elon Musk and the election that's going on in Wisconsin. But I really want you to read this one because it is personal. You get to learn a little bit more about me and what's going on and why sometimes when I'm dealing with things, I'm a little bit late. I'm dancing as fast as I can. Does anyone else remember that? Before we get out here real quickly, does anybody else remember that movie? I think it was like 1978, 79. It was Jill Clayburgh. I'm dancing as fast as I can. Anybody else? Those folks who are old enough to remember. And here's the thing that I didn't talk about. So, you know, my sister, she looks great. She's lost weight. She looks good. My mom, does anybody notice this when people get older, they get so tiny? She's so tiny now. It's scary. It's frightening. She's shrinking. She's shrinking. I'm like, Mom, eat. Do some stretches. She was short, but she wasn't that short. Now she's shrinking. Platforms are suppressing protest. We're not. We're going to continue to talk about protest. Okay. So everyone, thank you for joining us this morning on Hot Topics. We're going to see you back here at 5 o'clock Eastern time, where we'll talk about all of the news that's going on. And so I appreciate you joining us. And you know what I say every time I leave, every time I log off, make sure you hit the like, make sure you hit the thumbs up, make sure you follow us on all the platforms, check out our social media, and join, all right? Become a member. Welcome to all the new members. Thank you for joining the Lemon Nation. Thank you for your support. I want to cry when people yell at me across the airport or wherever I am, I'm a Lemonhead, or they bring Lemonhead signs to events. So thank you guys, okay? So I will see you at 5 p.m. Eastern time. Until then, turn this TV off. Thanks everyone for watching. Your support means the world to us. So make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe to our channel to make sure that you never ever miss a video. We're live every day, 10 a.m. Eastern time. We drop even more content at 2 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Eastern. And if you want more Don Lemon Show content, we'd love for you to become a member of the Lemon community, where you will receive access to special community posts. You'll get exclusive content and members-only live shows. So head over to our channel page or click the join button on this video. Again, thank you for watching. We appreciate your love and your support, and we will see you next time.